back to Real Talk Corners in the building. Got my co-host here, Bella. I was about to say Sabrina. Like
Bella, Sabrina,
today she's Bella.
right.
Why? Because we always got some shit to say. That's why we're back, and we're gonna watch some shit.
Right.
Jesus, let's lighten the mood.
Mhm.
I don't know how to light because some of these people are just ridiculous.
Yeah, some shit is just stupid as fuck. I say it all the time. I be like, that Zayden pool got pee in it.
Right.
Like, dead
Well,
ass.
this one that I'm gonna show actually saddened me first. So probably before I get into the lighter version, this one saddened me a lot to see this one because I'm like, these are the kids coming up in the world. These are the young girls, these are the next generations. And for them to think this is okay, it's heartbreaking. It really is. It's heartbreaking. And all I can do is be like, parents, do better. Whoever's around these young girls, do better. I know not having fathers in the home is rough. I was a single mom. I get it. But you got to teach your daughter some type of values and respect and some type of fucking morals, because this shit is all cool, and it's cool to be a thug, and it's cool to be a gangster, and it's cool to fucking be a ride or die bitch. Like, no, no, none of this shit is fucking cool. If you were smart, you wouldn't take no charge for nobody. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, don't come to me with any of this shit. We ain't ride or die nothing. I ain't doing
Mhm.
fucking 25 to life to fucking save you.
See, they take the word ride or die and they took it in a whole nother thing. Because like I said, when you get married and they're there, like, through sickness and health and those type of things, that's what to me a ride or die is, meaning that if I do get sick and
Right,
I get to the point, are you gonna hold me down?
right,
That's or vice versa. Your
right,
husband gets sick and he no longer can work. Are you gonna hold him down? To me,
right,
that's a ride or die.
right,
Or financially, if we both fuck up, are we gonna figure it out together?
right,
That's a ride or die. Or are we gonna leave each other because now our finances is messed up?
right,
Is one or the other gonna leave? Or are you gonna stay and we're gonna figure it out and get our money back up?
right.
That's what a ride or die is. It ain't the definition of what these little kids got going on now.
Right. It's like, nah, no. If you decide you want to go do some crazy shit, go on a murdering spree, I'm not down. I am not with you. And
Yeah,
I
they
and
think ride or die means you go rob the spot and I'ma drive the car.
right,
Or you could hold your drugs in my house because I'm a ride or die chick. That's
right,
their definition of a ride or
right.
die.
We gonna go scam people together because I'm a ride or
Right,
die.
right. You know what I mean?
What?
I'm gonna go get on Instagram and put some little clothes on while you DM these dudes so
Right,
then we could get this money.
right. And you know how many it's a real thing where they fucking get on these not even just Instagram, it's Tinder, all of these ones, these dating apps. The dude goes to the house to go see the chick and then gets robbed and
Oh
shit.
yeah.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
real thing. And it's like these girls are so like, yes, let's do this. I teach these young women to be women and to fucking respect themselves.
And have morals and
This
values of self.
this shit is so different. When I was younger, we actually lived in the hood. That's why people talked about the hood. These kids live in suburbia and all think they fucking hood.
Mm-hmm. No, and it's true because and it's funny because you know how before or even in some situations, like the parent, they get it from their mother, they hear their mother saying these
Yeah.
things, but in some of these homes, these mothers and some of these homes, for one, they do have two parent
Right.
father and mother in there,
Right.
and they both work and like you said are not living in the hood, and they still think like this because you know
Right.
why? They on these social medias, they hearing these little 20-year-olds
Right.
and these little 23-year-olds
Right.
giving advice. I don't know who
Right.
made them professionals, but giving them advice of who you should date and who you shouldn't date.
Right. Right.
That's who they listening to. They not listening to their parents.
Right. And all of these songs and shit is all of these girls, right, that they listen to, Nicki, Cardi, Megan, all of these girls are in relationships. Ain't now one
Exactly.
of them single.
Exactly. Exactly. Prime example. You see the song when Cardi said, you know what I mean? She don't cook and clean. If you watch her motherfucking video, she's cooking every day. She don't even have a motherfucking chef. Like her
Right.
ass be cooking for her and her whole family.
Right.
Mama, daddy, cousins, all that. Like she
Right.
cooks.
Right.
So if you
Right.
sit there and listen to her song where she says she don't cook and clean, you
Right.
be a damn fool.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a song, it's entertainment, but you got these young girls that are eating this shit up to think, oh, this is the way I gotta go. This is the way. And then though,
Trying to live it. They trying to live the song.
which we already know, this is what is fucked up the dating pool. This is what is
Exactly.
fucked
This
up.
is why the dating pool got pee in it. This is exactly why.
All right.
Would y'all rather have a fat boyfriend or an abusive boyfriend?
I'd rather have an abusive boyfriend. I don't fuck with fat boys.
Hey, what about you?
Abusive.
Abusive. Oh, abusive. Oh, no. Would y'all rather?
So they rather have an abusive boyfriend than a
A
fat
dude
boyfriend.
beat your ass, put hands on you,
Exactly.
treat you like shit, versus a man who is fat or large or whatever that would love and care for you.
Exactly.
What in the fuck has happened?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand that. Like, how is that even a thing? How is that even okay? Who is taught these girls that I can't fuck with a fat dude? You won. Y'all ain't even got shit to offer anybody to begin with.
Right.
And then y'all
I
have the
mean,
nerve to have these standards, and then y'all standards are fucking backwards as hell.
right. That's the funny part. Like y'all still in school and y'all talking about what you'd rather. Oh, I'd rather a dude abuse me than a dude be chunky, fat, whatever the case is.
Right.
Like, you know, and it's sad because they know they of age to know what abuse is. So they know exactly what it is. It's not like they don't know what abuse
Right.
is. I'm sure
Right.
they've seen it, whether it's in their home, on TV, at school, or whatever. They know what abuse is. So for you to say out your mouth, oh, I'd rather deal with an abusive man than a fat man, and you're in your teens, and well, even if a grown woman says some stupid shit like that, I mean, but you in your teens and you don't even know your value
Right.
of who you are, that any abuse, physical, sexual,
Right.
mental, verbal,
Right.
is not right.
Right.
Period.
Right. Because normally men who abuse, it's in multiple different ways. It's not just getting slapped up, it's emotionally, it's physically, it's verbal, sexually also. Because when a man beating the shit out of you, you ain't gonna still love him after. You're gonna be scared of him.
Mm-hmm.
That changes the dynamic. You know what I mean? That shit ain't all cool and glamorous. And it's crazy that this is a generation that thinks this is acceptable. Like this is a part of life. Like, and it's like when we look at women and women who fought to get us out of these situations, there were women who used to, like, that shit was normal. And women fought for women's rights to get out of the fucking relationships and to fucking make it like we didn't have to stay. And then you got a generation coming up only a couple generations later
To say that they will prefer. How is that even
right.
an option?
Right.
To where you like, I prefer
Right.
to be with a man who would be abusive than a man who's chunky. So you could care less that he is taken from you every time he hit you or abuse you sexually, however. As
Right.
long as he ain't chunky, like
Right.
where the like I don't see the logic in that. I would really love to talk to one of those girls because I
Oh
would
yeah.
really want to know where do they get
Definitely.
that from? Like what would make them feel like I would rather be with an abusive guy than a fat guy, chunky,
I
whatever.
would too. And if this gets to them, y'all hit me up and we can do this. I would
Oh, we surely can.
I would love to pick their brain and try to understand, like, where did this come from? Because I just can't comprehend it. And the thing is, as I've watched a lot of these things with younger women and the complaints with dating and stuff, and I'm like, the sad part about it is when you're young, you're so much in pride and ego. But when you get older, like me, I'm 43, I look at dating and shit so fucking differently. Of course, there's a lot I ain't gonna put up, but I would definitely take the fat dude. You know what I mean? I would
Okay.
definitely take him. You know, like that's not even a thing. Um,
Exactly. It's crazy that the person asking the question even thought to ask that question. Like,
right,
how is that even a thing to
right,
compare? She
right,
didn't say, "Oh, do you like big guys or skinny guys?" She
right,
said, would you prefer an abusive man
right,
or a fat man?" She didn't say, "Oh, do you prefer a light skin or a dark skin?"
right.
Where did the abuse and being a fat man become where you can compare? Like,
Yeah,
how do they think that's on the same
right,
level?
right. So it's like basically being a fat guy is at the lowest of the low of what a man can be.
Right, right. This is what I'm saying, because if you right, if you feel that a big guy is underneath and an abusive man,
The fuck?
mm,
The Y'all drop us a comment and let us know how you feeling about this shit. I can't take it. For
mm.
me, I just I
I
just
say this all the time, and it's funny because I say this because my son is 16, and I be telling his father this all the time. I said I feel sorry for my son. I said the only thing that's gonna save him is me, because
right,
I ain't with it. You know what I mean?
right,
But these
right,
knuckleheads that he got to deal with in this day and age,
right,
these, you know what I mean? These
right.
women, these little girls that he's going to come across,
Are
that this is their mentality.
right.
Yeah, this, and he's definitely neither or. So it's like, I guess you won't be chosen, puppy, but you know what? If these the one that's choosing, you good.
Right.
You
Wait,
good.
patiently wait for the right one. It's crazy because my grandson just had his little first heartbreak and he just
Oh.
ended fourth grade. And this little girl, they was dating for a few months. And then all of a sudden, they just exchanged numbers. Well, actually, the number that they exchanged is my daughter's phone because the boys ain't got a phone. So it's my daughter, she allowed them to exchange where they could call and talk to each other. And then the little girl had Facebook and she let the little girl message her messenger. So my daughter's seeing everything. It's not like they can. So this little girl just sending pictures and pictures and pictures. And my daughter's like, does she need attention? Like, what is going on? And then they went to like their friend's birthday party and I guess my grandson didn't answer and then she got mad and then broke up with him. And it was just like, so then she's after the breakup, she's sending my grandson pictures. So my daughter got in the phone like, why are you sending pictures? Didn't y'all break up?
Right.
Because my daughter's like, hell no. She's
Yeah,
like,
you're not gonna be emotionally messing with mine. Fuck
she's
that,
like, you already
because it
broke my
starts
baby
that
heart.
little. Like, you're not gonna be making him
Right,
feel bad and trying to manipulate him in
right,
fucking fourth grade. Come on now.
right. And I was like, yeah, I was like, lucky my daughter handled it because I was like, you know. All little girls gonna be in for it because me and my daughter ain't playing. Do not come for my grandsons. Y'all
Mm-mm.
bitches gonna be asleep.
No, it's true though. These little, I tell my son that all the time. I always tell my son that because I always let him know that they are like, my son is 16, and I'm like, there are 16-year-olds
Right,
who are way more advanced than what you is. Like, he's still a virgin, you know what I mean?
right,
And I'm like, these girls been having sex for years. Some
right,
may have babies. Like,
right,
you ain't on a level. You know what I mean?
right. And it's
They,
okay.
yeah, exactly. I tell him all the time, please. Mm-mm.
Yeah, because you know they get to an age where you think you got to be this hype or whatever. It's okay to be the good guy. It's okay to be the good
Exactly.
guy because you're gonna wait for the right one, and you're not gonna have all these crazy girls all on you. And even if they
Mhm.
are, take that step back and
Or even trying to trap him, like me and me and his dad talks to him about that all the time. Like my son about to go to 11th grade. He's in the Magna program. He's like in honor roll, you know,
Right.
like he's really smart. He wants to be an engineer. And
Right.
now he just started working, and we was
Right.
talking to him about that. Like, you're not
Right.
going to be buying bitches shit. You're not going to be tricking. No. I don't care if they phone need to be. No, don't nobody need to hit you up talking about, oh, I need my phone. But what?
Right.
That is not your responsibility. You at work every day to get your money. This
Sad
is not
part
how we
about
going
it
to do
is,
this.
that not that this is not a thing, it hasn't happened. It's not like women haven't been doing this, but now even more so today, that
Mm-hmm.
is a lot, especially the young girl's mindset is like, what can I get out of this dude? It's not
Mm-hmm.
even about wanting love. It's what can I get?
Exactly. And that's what I said. But they listen to these videos of these other
Mhm.
influencers that's on TikTok, Instagram, and they call themselves influencers, and their videos is about how a man's supposed to pay this and pay that and take you
Right.
to dinner and do this and that and the third for you. So now you got to think about it. These little 16-year-olds is listening to they shit. So now
Right.
they thinking this is how you supposed to be. Like I be
Mhm.
telling my son, and that's another thing too. Like, don't let none of these little girls, when he do start being sexually active, we already let him know. Like, you
Right.
do not want to get caught up to where they will purposely try to get pregnant so
Yeah.
you don't leave to college, so you don't, you know what I mean? And it's
Right.
sad because these mothers be down with it. I remember when my nephew was dealing with this girl in Florida, and the mother knew he was dealing with her. The girl got pregnant. My sister told the mother, I will pay for her because they are both too young. They were like in high school. She said, for one, we should have put them on birth control, but they did not know they were sexually active. So, but my sister said, I will pay
Mm-mm.
because this is going to mess up their life. He's not going to be able to go to college. He's going to have to work because at the end of the day, this is going to be his child. He's going to support this child. And the mother was like, oh, don't worry about it. I'm going to put her on my food stamp, on my budget. And my sister's like,
Right.
yeah, that part.
Right.
My
I
sister
you know,
was
I
tripping.
I went through some of that with my daughter because when she got pregnant, her baby daddy was like a year or two older than her. And he didn't have his mom. His mom had passed when he was younger. So he was with the sister. And they already was collecting a check for him, because he got a check from when he lost his mom and just always it was like some survivor check or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so my daughter had originally left. She left home. She was scared of my reaction, so she had left home and was living with them. And I was just like, "All right, you gonna learn. You that's what you chose. I'm all right. I'm gonna respect that." And really quickly, she was like, "Hey, I need my social because they need to do this for me and that for me." And I was like, "What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
They don't need your social security number. They don't need your stuff." And she was like, yeah, because they got to apply it. And I was like, I'm your mom. If you need something, I'll go apply for you and do it for you. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving them shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They are not about to steal my baby shit and have food stamps and all this and then be
And fuck up
starving
her
my fucking
name.
kid
Mm-hmm.
and then starving her and taking her fucking money and shit. I was like, hell no.
Exactly.
And so they kind of got mad. And my daughter was barely eating. She ended up coming home because she was barely eating. The dude was always high or some shit, and they were always getting blamed for the food being gone. And I just told her, come home then. I'm not saying you can't come home. I never said you couldn't. But if
Right.
it's that serious, come home. Because I was like, ask them why do they need that? And then she was like barely a couple months, and they was already having discussions
Making
of
plans with her
of
shit.
taxes and shit. And I was like, these babies ain't even been born yet. How the fuck y'all already having conversations of
Wow.
taxes? I was like, hell no. So as soon as they were asking for her stuff, and I had all her stuff, social, birth certificate, all that, I was like, no, nobody is getting that shit. If you need some, I'm your mom. I will take you down there and get it and get your food stamps. I'll help you go down there and apply for that shit. But no,
Get your own shit.
I was like,
Mm-hmm.
don't ever have anybody put their name on you. I was like, you are considered an adult now because you're pregnant. You don't even need me if you go down there. You can apply yourself. I put her up on I was like, hell no. You don't need
Mm-hmm.
nobody to be a payee for you or fucking claim you or any of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh no, that's not happening. And it's sad that a lot of people are like that though. All they see
Mm-hmm.
is money. The kid ain't going to be taken care of. Your child ain't going to be taken care of. it's going to be a lot of craziness going on because they
Mm-hmm.
see that money. And people are very
Exactly.
money hungry, which is sad. But you guys, if you guys, no matter if you got a son or a daughter, you really need to have some conversations with them. And I mean, yeah, you're not going to stop them from doing some stuff, but at least like that, try to step in as much as you can to assist and to help so they're not getting stuck out here with these crazy people.
It's true. That bond, that 18 years of having a child with someone, for one that you don't know, because as we can see even in the previous video, you can never say you know somebody, but these children, like I think parents need to have real, raw reality conversations.
Right.
A lot of parents aren't having reality conversations. They're letting these children think fantasy. Oh, I'm gonna meet a guy or I'm gonna meet a girl. We're gonna fall in love. We're gonna buy a house. We're gonna buy a car. We're gonna have
Right.
kids. We're going to no, give them the real reality, the raw shit.
Right.
Like when we talk to my son and my daughter, we let my son know also once he do become sexually active, not only wearing protection for a child, but for STDs. Because again, there's girls out here who has been sexually active
Right.
since 14, since 12. So
Right.
now when you 16, 17, 18, however old he's gonna be, they got bodies on you.
Right.
And it'll be your one time and some little hot ass girl burn the shit out of you. Like
Right.
these are the conversations we have. We don't sugarcoat nothing because
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's going to be beautiful. It is that and the third. Like even, my his father tells him it's gonna be like this. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be boring. It's gonna be, you know what I mean? We
Right.
talk real shit, not this
Right.
fantasy shit. And when same thing with girls, when they're a little too loose and want to offer you some coochie, you not even a man. Y'all haven't even been dating, but she quick to want to
Right.
give you some coochie. Think about how many other dudes she quick to want to give some coochie. So
Right.
those is the coochie you say to.
Right.
Like
You
we
got
have these conversations, and a lot of parents to me are not having these real
right.
conversations. You have
Because
to
they'd rather think like, oh, well, my kid's a virgin. I don't need to talk about this stuff. No matter if your kid's a virgin or not, you need to have these conversations
oh
because peer
yeah.
pressure is a big fucking thing.
Oh,
Peer
trust
pressure
me.
is a
When my
huge
daughter,
part.
once my daughter starts dating and she's like, oh I have a boyfriend,
Mhm.
trust and believe me, we're gonna talk about birth control.
Right.
We're going to talk about something. There ain't going to be, oh, mommy, I have a boyfriend. And it ain't to tell her to go do it because it ain't going to be
Right.
like, oh, go do it. I'm going to have that conversation with her.
Right.
When you ready, this, that, and the third.
Right.
But when she's ready, at least she will be protected on that end.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean? Like
Right.
these, to me, parents are not having these conversations.
It's
They are
rough.
not taking the right precautions for these things. And that's another thing. Like these parents are let their little 17-year-old, 18-year-old son or daughter have boyfriends come over to the house, live in the house, and then when they pregnant, they shocked. What the fuck
Yeah.
you thought they were doing? Because I
Right.
hope you didn't think they were reading. And they, you know what I mean? And they
Right.
live there. I've seen it. I see it every
Yeah.
day where
Yeah.
they have their 17-year-old son and his girlfriend live there. And you shocked when she becomes pregnant?
Right. I was one of those. That my baby daddy moved in before he was a baby daddy. But I had a very dysfunctional home. You know what I mean? It was a very dysfunctional home because I don't think any level-headed parent is going to let somebody come live, Even
Exactly.
like
This and not think
my
that.
daughter literally went from virgin to pregnant within a few months. You know what I mean? Like that's how quick. Like
Mhm.
like second boyfriend and then boom, it was like what the fuck out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know people who first time having sex got pregnant.
Right.
So you
And
know
it's
what I
not that
mean?
we didn't
It's
have conversations because we had conversations, but unfortunately, her second boyfriend, she was all in love, thought they was going to be happily ever after, trusted him, despite our conversations. And that's why I say, I know that as a parent, you're not going to be able to save all your kids from everything. But if you do your diligence as best as you can,
Mhm.
you're going to save a lot more kids than not, And luckily, she wasn't the type to stay because then he had a lot of issues and a lot of mental issues and was abusive. So luckily, she didn't stay with him because
And
that
I'm
would have
sure
been
a lot of that had to do with the things you have said. Because, like you said, we can say and we can talk and we can think that they're not listening, but they are listening. But they
right.
also children, so they are gonna be rebellious. They are gonna do their own thing because they
Yeah.
think they have the answers.
Yeah.
But trust and believe me, when them things, fall apart and they see the truth, where do they go? To their parents, because
Right.
now they see like, dang, they were, So a lot of the times, I hope parents don't think, oh, let me don't say nothing because their children, they're not going to listen. No, still say your truth, still
Uh-uh.
say these things, still have these conversations, because
Hell
they
yeah.
may seem like they're not listening, but they're listening.
Right.
They're listening. They're going to do what they want to do because they are their kids. They hard-headed. They're going to do this, but they
Right.
will remember when things happen to come to you.
Hell yeah, they will. Like immediately after her being pregnant, he was doing the most, and she'd be crying and going through it, and he talking to other girls because fuck you, a kid, you're a fucking kid
Mhm.
trying to be a man, and them getting into it, and I just like one night got home and he was in her face, and I ran up on him. And I was just like, you not gonna be in my house and definitely not gonna be in my daughter's face. And you damn sure ain't gonna act like you about to put hands on her. And I kicked him out. It was like, out, get your shit. And I was like, you got, and I don't know what I told him. I don't know if I gave him a countdown, but I was like, you gonna get
Mhm.
your shit and get out.
Mhm.
I think he said no. And I was like, oh no, you're not gonna get
Right.
and I walked to my room. And I don't even know what I was thinking of, because at that time I was hot. I walked to my room like, oh, you ain't gonna fucking get right. And
Okay.
then when I was coming out my room, his ass was gone with his bucket. I was like, yeah, you
Okay.
because it was just like, and that's I think one thing of her knowing that your mom got your back. I got your back.
Exactly.
I get it. We choose certain things. They don't pan out. The reality of it, and even when, she had him thinking he might change and he didn't. He was high when she gave birth. He went off to go smoke weed instead of stay at the hospital. It was just shit like that she saw, like, I'm in better hands if I stay with my mom. And then I
Mhm.
ended up moving. We were in Vegas. I ended up moving, and I was like, you're more than welcome to stay. You're old enough to get your own place. I mean, if you want to, but I was like, I ain't staying here. I'm leaving. I can't deal with this city. It was just a lot in Vegas anyway. And she was like, Mom, I'm coming with you.
Mhm.
Like, I think you just gotta, again, you're not gonna save them for everything, but just try your best to have real ass conversations so that they can think about things. And because girls, it's different when girls don't have their father in their life. They really do be seeking that love and attention from a man. And you can teach your as a single mom, you can teach your daughter all you want to be a strong woman, and she gonna be strong. But when it comes to that man, she gonna fall victim to that shit because not
Mhm.
having a dad in her life. And that's why I really strongly believe in two parents, co-parent or two-parent home,
Mhm.
co-parent, and be there so that they have both fucking people there. And I really strongly believe in that because I've just seen it. And unfortunately, girls without that father, they gonna pay the price when it comes to dating.
Mhm. Oh yeah, definitely.
Fucking, it sucks. It really does.